What up, guys? Your boy Quake, and 50 Cent isn't letting his foot off of Jay-Z's neck. And today, he has visited some old lyrics from Jay-Z that are very weird because if you think of the year when the song came out and you think of what they're talking about, some of it is very, just you got to question it, basically, is what is going on here. Jay-Z has been getting a lot of flack recently because of his name being mentioned in the Epstein files, and that comes from an anonymous tip that came to the FBI back in 2019 from the alleged victim, who said in 1996 she woke up in Epstein's house in Florida to Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z being there, and she felt she was, and so on and so forth. She also mentioned Pusha T in 2006 and 2007 as being her handler. And ever since then, people have run with this insane speculation that Jay-Z had something to do with, Epstein, and that he's involved in one way or another. And I'll explain why Jay-Z gets this flack, because there's a lot of things that you can point to that say, that question basically Jay-Z's character and why is he moving like this. But 50 has really put his foot on Jay-Z's neck and has decided to double down on going after him. And today was no different, and today was really just a lot crazier. He posted on his Instagram page a photo of Jay-Z's face photoshopped on the Predator's body, which is crazy, and usually they call people that, go after young underage females predators. So that's why it's photoshopped in the photo. He's basically calling Jay-Z a predator. And in the caption, he says, "I know you're going to say I'm a hater, but what do you say about what he's saying, fool? LOL. Get your down the street." Now, if you listen to the video, it is a song Jay-Z was featured on from Pharrell's album that came out in 2006. And the song is called Young Girl / I Really Like You. And in the lyrics, it is very questionable because Jay-Z and Pharrell were both in their mid-30s. At least Pharrell was in his early 30s. Jay-Z was in his mid-30s, talking about having feelings for a girl that is roughly 19 years old. So in that Instagram post, that part of Jay-Z's verse is played in the video. So 50 Cent is questioning those lyrics. So let's go over the actual lyrics of Jay-Z's verse on this song. It starts out saying, "Hove got a young girl, Hove got a young girl. Still not quite 21. So high strung, such a vibrant thing. I introduce myself, hi Miss Thing. You're 19, woo. No, you're lightning in a bottle. I'll give you a ring tomorrow." That sounds crazy. Jay-Z was 36 years old at the time of writing this, and him being excited over a 19-year-old girl, there's something there. Now, I know legally in America, 18 years old is an adult, so there really isn't anything legally wrong with it. I mean, technically, if you're 36 and want to date a 19-year-old, on my end, that does look kind of crazy. I think that age gap is just way too much for me personally, but hey, I've seen it. I don't really agree with it. If I had a daughter and she was 19, I wouldn't want her dating a 36-year-old. That's way too much of an age gap. Even to a certain extent, like 8 years, maybe 10 max. And even that is just a huge age gap as well. Like if the girl's 20 and you're 30, that's still a huge age gap. But at the end of the day, 18 years old and above is legal. I get that, but it's just very weird. These type of lyrics, especially with everything that's being tied, is very, you can look at it like, okay, this is kind of weird, right? Continuing on, the verse says, "The scene that follows screams of horror, classic Stephen King novel. Mama don't think you should date someone so advanced in romance. You should just wait. Papa don't preach, Hove don't bite. Hove been through it. I might mold your life. Plus, I'm going to show you right, proper etiquette, how to hold your knife. Keep you competitive with Oprah's ice. Be like Janet is, take control of your life." Yeah, that looks like some grooming type stuff. And we've seen, Tyga get to the grooming type of rumors with Kylie Jenner when she was actually like 17, 16. This type of stuff, though, is just, it's weird on my end. I view it as something that's like, why would you rap about this stuff? If you're going to rap about a young girl can be 24. A young girl can be 26. A young girl can be 28. Whatever, that's still young. In your 20s, you're young. Why rap about specifically a 19-year-old? It's like you're almost crossing that border. So for me, that's the way I look at it. I didn't even know about this song, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm sure there are other lyrics out there that are skeptical. There's been quite a few lyrics out there from artists that have been exposed as just crazy, for an artist to say and to rap about. And as far as 50 Cent lyrics, I don't know. I haven't found anything that looks kind of crazy of what he's written. There are some artists that, yeah, you can go back and look and to be like, what are they talking about here? Like one of the most prime examples is Rick Ross talking about putting Molly in a girl's champagne and she didn't even know it. I take her home and I enjoy that. She didn't even know it, which is a crazy bar that, like, why would anybody approve of that? Why would anybody like allow that to be in a song? That was one of the most recent crazy bars that I can remember that was just like, what the heck are you talking about? That's clear as day. You're trying to take advantage of a, intoxicated female, which is, what. With that being said, I think that there is a reason why people look at Jay-Z the way they look at Jay-Z. And I really thought about it. And it's really his relationships. It starts with R. Kelly, who we knew at I believe Aaliyah was like 15 or 14. He tried to marry her. I think he did end up marrying her. I don't know exactly, but I know that was happening. And then R. Kelly ended up, working with Jay-Z. They ended up making 2 collab albums, not 1, but 2. Then you're going on tour with him. And a lot of people say, yeah, Jay-Z broke off the tour. But at the end of the day, like, that whole stuff that R. Kelly went through with that trial with that young girl who actually just recently did an interview that he, did things to, that happened in 2002, and that was your first collab album, and you still work with him and made another collab album in 2004. So clearly that didn't bother Jay-Z, or he didn't look at that sideways. People are questioning Jay-Z's relationship with Foxy Brown as well. Like, was he with her when she was very young? As well as Beyonce. He tried to get at Beyonce very young. That's what people are speculating. I don't know. I haven't looked into the details because a lot of it is just speculation at the end of the day. Does it look weird to a certain extent? Yes, but you can make anything look weird at the end of the day. Online, you can just, hey, look what this girl said, and what, which they did a lot with Drake as well. They made things look really blown it out of proportion. And that's just the internet in general. They blow things out of proportion. With that being said, that's the first thing, is the R. Kelly relationship. He was very close to him, made 2 collab albums with him. When Nas and Jay-Z were beefing, Nas said he saw underage girls around R. Kelly, and he was like, Jay-Z was around at that time too. He would have underage girls sitting on his lap, which is crazy. So Nas was calling that out a while ago. So that's the first thing, is the relationship with R. Kelly was just very questionable, right? The second thing is the close best friend relationship with Diddy. And we know Diddy, what he's been accused of and what he's been speculated of. I mean, it's clear as day, he's at least domestic violence abuser. The other stuff, I know he got only charged for basically, hiring prostitutes. That's essentially what he got charged for. Other than that, he hasn't been charged for anything else, but still, Diddy isn't the best type of person to be a best friend with. That's not somebody that you should be really close and friends with. They would have parties every year. Jay-Z would always be close to Diddy. Diddy himself said he was best friends with Jay-Z, and that they would call each other Sean because both their names are Sean, and they would, jokingly call each other that. So that's the second relationship that people are like, there's something there. That's weird. And then the third one is Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein has been, connected to Jay-Z, I believe, around the Paid in Full era with Rockefeller and Dame Dash. That's when things started. I don't know if I'm 100% accurate on that, but that's what people have said. And really the relationship started to blossom in 2014, 15, when Jay-Z started getting more into the film and movie TV world. And Harvey Weinstein was one of those people. And there's a lot of clips being posted of Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z hanging out that look very weird in the light when you're actually thinking about it now. And Harvey Weinstein has been charged, and he's serving like 30 years for doing stuff to females underage as well. So that relationship as well is looked at in a different light. Now, I know what what most people are saying is like, okay, yeah, he's had business relationships or friendships with people that are skeptical, and that doesn't mean that he was involved in that. And that is 100% true. I'm not saying that he is involved in that. I'm just saying why people are having this perspective of Jay-Z. Why are people looking at Jay-Z in a weird light? And then you got Nicki Minaj, throwing things on Jay-Z and accusing him of all these things. So there are people that have been close to Jay-Z that said that, hey, I've never seen anything wrong with Jay-Z, never seen anything bad. There are people, so a lot of this stuff is just really speculation, and it just looks weird because of the connections. So there's nothing that's been solid proof evidence. I mean, some of these lyrics are crazy when you're reading them, but at the end of the day, I know that age gap is crazy. At the end of the day, though, 19 in America is legal at the end of the day. It's not a good age gap at all. I disagree with it 100%. Like I said, if I had a daughter who was 19 and there was a 36-year-old trying to get at her, I wouldn't entertain it at all. I'd be like, you're crazy. You're not going with that guy. These are insane lyrics. 50 has brought them back to light. And those are the reasons I at least believe that people are looking at Jay-Z very weird, like with a side eye. Like the friendships that you have don't define you 100%, but a lot of people, there's been statistics that are proven that, hey, the people you surround yourself with is what you usually become. If you surround yourself with robbers and killers, you eventually become that. If you surround yourself with successful people, you eventually become that. And if you surround yourself with people that do bad things to women, you are somewhat tied to that. I'm not saying he was close friends with R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein, but he was close friends with Diddy. There's no denying that. It's not like a business relationship. And yes, other artists have worked with Diddy, have worked with R. Kelly. So it's not like just Jay-Z's the only one, but Jay-Z's the only one that was that close to Diddy and made collab albums with R. Kelly back to back from 2002 to 2004. There's no other artist that made collab albums with R. Kelly. There's no other artist, that was that close to Diddy every single year, every single party. Jay-Z was there. So that's why people look at it that way. It is all, like I said, speculation. There's no valid proof that Jay-Z is accused of. All these things are just internet speculation. That's it. We need to remember that. We need to keep that in mind, that until there's very solid proof, you can't just throw dirt on somebody's name and call them names and stuff like that. 50 trolls, and then he knows, it's going to cause attention and cause people talking. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think of these lyrics. Am I right on point with, the age being way too close to the legal age? I would have said something different. But let me know what you guys think of these lyrics, 50's take, and why. If you're somebody that looks at Jay-Z in a weird light, why do you look at him in a weird light? I really want to know that answer, because I think it's because of those three relationships. I think because of that. And then you got some questionable photos, but at the end of the day, late 90s, early 2000s, there was questionable photos everywhere. Not to say that everybody was doing crazy things, but, it's just that time where people were just doing weird things and people looked a lot younger when they were older, and whatever the case may be. So what do you guys question with Jay-Z when it comes to this stuff? Or do you just, hey, Jay-Z's not that person. I've never, there's people that have said I've never seen Jay-Z that are close to him do any of these things that, so let me know what you guys think in the comments.